Hi, hello, and good morning. Today I'm doing my presentation on 68 Voices. 68 Voices is a collection of 68 animated shorts by a woman named Gabriela Badillo. And it is focused on a couple of things, but one specific goal in mind: to bridge the gap between non-Indigenous and Indigenous speakers. Because, in the words of Gabriela herself, you can't love something that you don't know. And by representing 68 different stories by 68 different people speaking 68 different languages, you do both. You not only learn about these cultures and voices that you've never heard of or never seen before, you learn about these stories of each individual culture, each individual tribe, each individual language. The big question then is, does it bridge the gap? And I say it does, but through its animation style, through its artistic vision, which then pains me to say that I take issue with this in a sense. What I mean to say is that I take issue with the style because it reminds me so much of a corporate ad, that it undercuts all of the emotional beats that we would originally get from the stories themselves, because they represented it in a way that is typical, that is Western, that is the way to bridge the gap. While all 68 shorts share a similar style, two stand out the most as representative of what I dislike about this style itself. Kukapa and Korra, representing one the origin of the mountains and one the origin of the earth, both exemplify this soft, palatable style that is so reminiscent of a H&R Block ad that puts me off from the entire exhibit itself. Because what it does is, using pastel colors and easygoing animation that isn't clunky, it is smooth. It reminds me so much of a lot of the Western animations that we see, more than any of the indigenous that we've seen, of using claymation in Bedouin or in other representations of indigenous animation. And this is the foundation that I dislike so much because of its goal. And its goal is to connect with somebody who isn't indigenous, which would be me. And I do want to preface, I do understand that they have 68 stories to do, and each only with a minute. They had to do something that it would allow them to represent the stories themselves in a quick manner, and something that is efficient in time and in effort. But it is the foundational element of this exhibit. And in that, I feel disconnected from the stories, because while I'm hearing something that is indigenous, I'm not seeing something that is difficult to decipher. I'm seeing something that is palatable. I'm seeing something that anybody can pick up on. Now, to look at a singular still from Korra, it is this mother, goddess, earth creator image that is so blocky with its singular colors and these simple shapes that it only encapsulates what I see it is. It doesn't leave any ambiguity. It doesn't make me think or question what it meant for the core people or what it means for the story, but it is simplistic in a sense that detracts from the complexity that it represents. And while I know that comparison could be the theft of joy and can be the theft of art sometimes, I just wanted to represent and show you something that I just found on the internet: top 10 unforgettable animated corporate videos for 2024. This one specifically about plastic. Look at the shapes. They remind me so much of 68 Voices, with these big blocky shapes that encapsulate singular definite ideas. That's the idea behind them. To make it palatable, you need a definite idea, and that is encapsulated by a shape. While that is obviously intrinsic to art itself, to get across ideas in simple ways, that's what 68 Voices does. It takes ambiguous stories and gives it a definite shape, which seems so anti a lot of what we have been learning about in class about indigenous stories. What 68 Voices does is bridge the gap between non-indigenous and indigenous speakers. But using a soft, palatable animation style, it instead undermines that in some sense by creating this realm of indigeneity that Western audiences can digest, but doesn't leave room for much other understanding or love as what Gabriela was looking for.